Michigan avoided the trap and is going to the college football playoff. What's going on, everybody? Big Ten Ted coming at you here today. Big Ten championship game recap, Michigan and Iowa. Big props to Jim Harbaugh and his coaching staff. They could have easily fell into the trap. Right? Michigan State did it earlier this season, right? When Michigan State beat a rival. And everybody was telling them how great they are and how great of an accomplishment that was. And then they come down the next week and lose to Purdue, a team they're probably more talented than that they should have beat. Same with Michigan, playing an Iowa team that can capitalize on some mistakes, but they didn't. Michigan didn't fall into that trap, and big props to them. That shows the mark of a disciplined football team with a great head coach and a great coaching staff and a team that's always ready to play. That's half of the battle. Now, when you go through these seasons, you're going to have emotional highs. You're going to have emotional lows. You're going to be on that roller coaster, so to speak. But it's up to the coach, it's up to the coaching staff to try to keep them level-headed throughout the season from game to game. And Iowa special teams. Okay, you go down the field, you miss a field goal right off the bat. 33 yards, that was very uncharacteristic. And then a blocked punt, Charlie Jones running backwards on punt returns. It was not a good special teams outing for Iowa. And that is the part of the game that needed to be good for the Hawkeyes. They needed to have a fantastic performance. Now, Torrey Taylor did pin Michigan 3 times inside the 10-yard line there. I believe it was the second quarter. And in my preview, I said, well, I don't know if Michigan can go 90-plus yards 3 times. Well, they didn't. They didn't go 90 yards 3 times. They didn't need to. They didn't need to in this football game. But special teams, it wasn't as good as it seemed. And I think one thing for Michigan coming into this game, they knew they had to protect the ball. And they needed to avoid those turnovers. And Iowa, they were able to get 1 turnover, but really that's about it. And once again, that's a great thing for the University of Michigan. Right? This has been a team that hasn't turned the ball over a ton, and they were disciplined. Right? When they turned it over, when they made the mistake, they turned around, and they knew what they had to do to prevent that from then on out. Here's the thing about Iowa, okay? If they had half an offense, this probably would have been a game. Because in the first half, and even maybe parts of the second half, this was a game that seemed in reach for the Hawkeyes. Right? This was a team, they were pinning Michigan inside the 10, like I mentioned. They were playing good defense. After those 2 big plays from Michigan, they were containing Hassan Haskins. They were doing what they needed to do to remain in the ballgame. This offense had nothing. I'm sorry, this offense had nothing. Right? Tyler Goodson didn't have anything. Spencer Petras didn't have. They drove down the field that first drive. Other than that, a whole lot of nothing for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and that's to some certain extent been the story of the season for Iowa. Is that this offense is just. It's so pedestrian at times, and it capitalizes, and the offense is at its best when special teams is making it easier for them, when defense is making short fields for them. That's how they succeeded in the first half of the season, but, I thought they did an okay job against Michigan's pass rush. I thought they did good enough. No, Michigan definitely got into the backfield, but I thought they did a good enough job against Michigan's pass rush to be able to move the ball offensively. Right, that first drive was a perfect example of that. But in the end, it's kind of more of the same for the Iowa Hawkeyes in this offense that had trouble moving the football. Right, their defense was very good this year. At some points, it was elite. Maybe one Big Ten commentator said it was elite earlier in this season. But their offense held them back at times during this game when their defense and special teams were in the upper echelon of the United States of America. But getting back to the University of Michigan, boy, those big plays early on. This is a team now, as we advance to the college football playoff, that I believe, why can't these guys win it all? Right, they're a balanced team that's a great defense, a great running game. This is a team that has all 3 phases checked. All of those boxes are checked as phases, as parts of a team that can go out and win a national championship. I honestly believe that right now they're playing as hot as anybody in the country. They're as confident as anybody in the country right now. No, I get it. You're in the playoff. You're going to have to go against an experienced guy like a Nick Saban. Kirby Smart's been there a few times. You're going to have to go against people that have been there before when you haven't. But when I look at the entire body of work for the University of Michigan, I really think this is a team that can win a national championship. Right? This defense is very good. These last couple of games, guys like Ross, Ojabo, and Hutchinson are doing great. They're moving forward at an unbelievable clip right now. And I love what I'm seeing from Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh has done a phenomenal job at turning this team around. Now, Hassan Haskins didn't have an outstanding game here in the Big Ten Championship. He didn't need to. They still ran for over 200 yards, 211 to be exact in this game. Blake Corum, he's back, he's healthy. That's going to be a big thing in the college football playoff, right? A 67-yard scamper there for a touchdown. That is going to be an X factor for Michigan once we get into the playoff, and I'll have videos on that. Blake Corum hitting the big play, because we saw it during the season, and now we've seen it here later in the season, is that he can strike at any time. But I believe this is a Michigan team. I can't believe I'm saying this from the beginning of the year. This is a Michigan team that can win the national championship. No doubt about it. What I've seen the last 2 weeks, pretty much ever since what I've seen since the Michigan State game, I know this is a Wolverine team that can win the whole damn thing. I want to know what you guys think. I'm pumped for Big Blue Nation. I'm sure all the Big Blue fans are pumped and ready to go as well. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below about this Big Ten championship game. Lots more videos coming up. We've got bowl selection. We've even got National Signing Day coming up in a few weeks, so stay tuned to the channel for that. I'm Big Ten Ted. We'll see you in the next one.